Hello everyone and welcome. In today's episode I'm going to introduce you to my newly bought 2009 BMW 750i, which is in mint condition and has absolutely no issues whatsoever. You and me both know I have an affinity for old and broken BMWs, so it is a no-brainer that this one is as broken as it is gonna get. Rocking the infamous N63 V8 4.4-liter biturbo engine, this car has suffered from one of the most common issues it could face: low oil pressure, which led to the bearing spinning. Which ones, though, we are yet to find out. It is truly a shame that after all of the maintenance it has received in recent history, things have taken such a drastic turn for the worse. And I mean for the worse. Have you seen the headlights? We are undoubtedly going to take matter into our own hands regarding them and either try to bring them back into former OEM glory or go with the much nicer, and of course pricier, facelift ones. Upon seeing the car ad pop up, I knew this is a car I had to save from turning into scrap since it is such a rare and special model. And let me tell you, there is a lot of scrap to be taken from this car. The interior has been very well looked after, and aside from the usual surface layer of dirt that accumulates with time and use, which we will eventually get round to cleaning, it is spotless. It is optioned with all of the extras you could think of, and I believe it would be shorter to only talk about the few ones which this car does not possess. Which, if you ask me, are so few that they just cannot withstand the combination of this chassis and the engine. One cool feature this car has, though, is great Bluetooth connectivity. You can hook up your phone to play music, but what is even more interesting is the Bluetooth connectivity from under the hood. Like this positive battery terminal or these beauty covers. Since we are already out here, let's now talk about the elephant in the room, the N63. I also mean this literally, as this is a beast of an engine, being a 4.4-liter biturbo V8, which is considered to be one of BMW's most unreliable. But this is only possible in conjunction with the lack of proper maintenance, as there are numerous examples of them reaching well over 200,000 kilometers without any major engine work. Given the car's long recommended service intervals, the high power output and operating temperatures, you start to realize how this can quickly become a nightmare to keep up with without also doing preventative maintenance. This particular example has stopped working while driving on the highway and, from what I have been told, has ceased, so we can already assume the worst for this engine. But until we get into its belly, these are all just guesses. Although the mechanical state it is currently in is not optimal for a normal person, it is for us and it will make for a great learning experience, as this is my first ever V8 engine and I hope you are also going to like seeing all the bits and pieces of it come apart and then back together to bring this car back on the road and to someone who is going to appreciate all the great things it has to offer. Despite the current obvious issue, it has been very well looked after as I have the full warranty and service record of this car. And aside from swapping the battery 2 or 3 times, which I have also had to do myself, and doing regular maintenance work, all of the injectors have been replaced under warranty with Index 12 ones, which, if you know anything about gasoline BMW injectors from this point of time, it is most likely that they were so bad they had to put out a bunch of revisions until they finally reached the last revision of Index 12, and that they were ridiculously expensive, as you also had to swap out all of them at once. So, with this being said, I am glad that at least one of the major issues has already been addressed. The previous owner has also put in a lot of time and money into this car, because judging by what I have been told and the car's service history, the engine has been out of the car not long before it finally gave in, for valve stem seals replacement, which is also a major problem on these high temperature operating engines, and the rear brake job has also been done. Moving on to the exterior, the car has been sitting for at least 3 months, during which it has accumulated a fair amount of dust and grime, as you can see. So I believe it would be fair to start fresh with a good clean to better see the condition of the paint and spot any imperfections the car might have. Like for example this little stone chip where the clear has started to fade away. This tiny dent on the rear fender where we will also need to do a little bit of touch up for all of these scratches. And it's the exact same thing on the bonnet. We will also need to add a little bit of touch up paint on these two little dots. Furthermore, on the left side skirt there is this plastic film thing that I'm not really sure what is, but I've taken a little part out of it right here, and as you can see, underneath is just perfect clear paint. So I'm not sure if this was a protection of some sort or whatnot, but we will have to get into that at a later time. Aside from these tiny little imperfections, the car is straight as an arrow and the paint is shining as bright as the day it came out from the factory. However, after the engine work is going to be completed, we are also going to tackle the inevitable swear marks because even though the paint has kept up extremely well, it could still greatly benefit from a paint correction. In the meantime, I also gave the car a quick scan and wait till you hear this, 96 errors came up. That's right. One of which was also complaining about the full memory being full. So you can imagine just how much this car has been through in recent times. There was also another error complaining about a knock on cylinder 3. Wondered why that might have come up. But if you are as eager to find out as I am, stay tuned for the upcoming episodes where we are going to dive deeper into why this engine actually failed and how we are going to prevent that in the future. Until next time, take care and ciao.